So we've been talking about some uplifting and happy subjects here, and now we're going to talk about an experience that we've all shared over the past year, and the song that represents how you felt during the pandemic, or at the beginning of the pandemic, is Gloomy Sunday by Big Maybelle. So let's give a listen.
Darling, I hope that my dreams ain't never haunted you. My heart was just telling you how much that I wanted you. Gloomy, gloomy Sunday.
I also have a version of this song that is going to play under our conversation, and that's by the John Griffin Orchestra. So when the pandemic hit, I had like this theory that it is the first time everyone who is alive on Earth is experiencing the same thing for the first time. I mean, I know there's a handful of people that were around in 1918, but you know, I'm kind of not including those people. But I remember when the pandemic started to hit, like a gig went away, and then 2 gigs went away, and then there was that tidal wave that came through, and it was like what I call the empty calendar syndrome. When you're first starting to be a freelancer, you just have to trust that the calendar's going to fill up. The calendar was empty. So tell us, how did you adapt, and how did you make your way through to where we are now?
I mean, I don't know, honestly, how I made it through. And we're still in it, so.
Yes, we are.
It's weird. I just remember that, you know, because my husband and I, we were so busy, and our calendars, and we share a calendar, it is just jam-packed where it gets confusing looking at the calendar.
Sure.
To figure out where we're supposed to be. And all of a sudden, we just kept deleting stuff. And then all of a sudden there was nothing. It's like, you know, is this the Twilight Zone? What is going on?
Right.
And it was really hard because, you know, everything was closed. So, you know, we would go for little family walks and like, oh, there's a supermarket, it's open. Whoa. You know, and it was just like we were in some kind of post-apocalyptic kind of a vibe, and you know, like there's gonna be zombies walking around, and it was crazy. And at night, we would sometimes go to our neighbor Joni's and go to her balcony and just sit there, and we would just look out. There'd be no traffic, and you
Just
know,
a quiet city.
Yeah, and we live in a busy part of town. We're going, this doesn't even make sense. Like, I can't even make sense of any of this. And it just felt like Groundhog Day.
Every day.
Oh my, it's like, okay, so how do I motivate myself to practice?
How did you?
I mean, I kind of made a deal with myself.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I mean, you know, I have to practice every day and I have to exercise. How am I going to get this done? And practicing wasn't as hard because, you know, we have a studio, and it was, you know, the 3 of us are in the apartment 24/7 now. So, you know, it's this tiny little room that is kind of, you know, we call it the cave sometimes.
Sure.
And so it was nice just to go in there and to feel like, okay, I'm doing something. This is for me, and I'm going to get better. And also, you know, once in a while, some kind of a recording gig would come through, or someone would say, oh, I want you to do a video recording, and we're going to put the band all together, you know, like a little Brady Bunch thing. And so, you know, honestly, that was one of the things that kept me going, was like, ooh, someone might call me and I won't be able to play.
Right.
That's scary, because how can I turn down a gig? You know, I went from like 1,000 gigs to 0.
Right.
If I get 1 gig, I'm keeping it. So, you know, it was a lot of talking to myself about that.
Sure.
Saying I can't let this go. Everybody's going through this. And you know, I mean, it's just like if you're on tour and you go home for a week, you don't put your horn down.
Right.
Because
You may not unpack your luggage.
right. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, no, that stays closed,
Right.
and you don't want to know what's in there. but the horn comes out immediately because someone might call you for a gig. Someone might say, "Hey, can you record this really quick for me?" And you have to be ready. You can't let your guard down. So it was really thinking about that kept me going to the studio every day.
Sure.
And saying, I can't let it go.
And we talked a bit about, before the show, we talked about the change in mindset, the change in going from, I got to take the gig, I got to make the dough, gig to gig to gig, to maybe that's not the life anymore. You know,
Right.
maybe I cut back a little bit, and now I'm spending more time with my family, friends, doing things that are not work related, and maybe that translates into enjoying the music a little bit more.
Right. Yeah. I mean, both David and I were doing that before the pandemic, but it really hit hard after being home and gigless for
Yeah.
so long, where, you know, you'd get a call and you'd say, I don't really like these people. I don't like this music. And I don't like thinking about going there. And if I accept this gig, I can't just do it because I need the check.
Right.
And so if I take this gig, I'm not allowed to be mad. I'm not allowed to be cranky about it. I have to have a good time. If I can't do that, I can't take the gig.
Right.
And that's it. That's the bottom line. I'm not going to be miserable.
Right.
You know, we've all been miserable for so long that if I'm going to go play this horn, I'm going to have fun.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing fun about doing a gig and then getting on a plane, you know, after 3 hours sleep, going to the next. And, you know, there is a lot of fun being able to work in the music world, either, you know, on the tech side or on the instrument side, the musician side. But it's such a grind.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
really
yeah. It's
is.
exhausting, and people don't see that. People just see like
On stage, the
yeah,
lights,
they're like,
yeah.
oh, it's so glamorous. It's like, are you kidding me? My eyelashes were falling off. My wig is tugging at my scalp, and I got 2 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
And I wanted to throw up the entire time. But I'm so glad that you enjoyed it
Yes.
because that means that I did my job.
Yes, absolutely.
But I would rather have fun with you,
Yes.
you know. And so that's the deal now.
That is.